Hi, I'm Dave from boyinaband.com, and welcome to day 4 of the Boy in a Band 7-day song tutorial on DubStep. Yesterday, we added 2 snazzerific wobble-based synths for the chorus and verse of our track. Today, we're going to add in a catchy lead line and some extra bass notes that would be perfect just before the drops in the track. Okay, let's begin. So I'll just play you what we've got so far. Yeah, we've got that one wobble bass, and the other one, which is the more on-beat one. But let's work with the off-beat one, because that's more funky. Okay, so this lead line, right-click and create a combinator. Name it lead, and inside there, right-click, create an instance of Thor Polysonic Synthesizer. Right-click it, initialize the patch, and click the show programmer to open it up. We're going to have 3 oscillators making up our lead sound, 1 analog oscillator, the default, and 2 multi-oscillators. Now, all of them are going to be saw waves. If you just detune the 2 multi-oscillators a little bit, and take the octave of the lower one up an octave. And now that will mean that the analog oscillator is the kind of punchy forefront for our sound, and the multi-oscillators are going to provide the thickness of the sound, so it'll be quite a nice tone to the synth. So click the 2 and 3 buttons to send them through to the filter. Now let's add in some notes so we can actually hear what the synth sounds like, so I'll just do that now. Remember, it's W shortcut key for the pencil tool, and I'll magically make all the notes appear now with the wonders of video editing. Bing! Magic! So, let's have a listen to the track with the lead line in there. And let's get to work making it sound a bit better. That's just our fun little lead line that's kind of catchy. Now turn the frequency down a little bit to about 3/8, and that just cuts off a bit of the high end, but turn the res up to about the same so it still has some presence. Okay, now to give it a bit more attack, turn the filter envelope, turn the decay down to about 552 milliseconds, it's cool. And turn the sustain up on the amp envelope to full, so it doesn't lose any volume. Okay, now, this is where a technique I've discovered recently comes in quite useful. I'll explain about that in a second. What we want to do is modulate 2 of the oscillator's pitches so it has a kind of subtle vibrato on the effect, which will make it even more fun sounding. So, hit the tempo sync and turn the rate up to 16ths on the LFO1, which we'll be using to modulate the pitch. And then, whereas usually I would make 2 separate sources and link it to 2 separate destinations, I just noticed that on the right here, you can have 1 source sent to 2 separate destinations, so it saves having to put in this extra source. That's one less thing to do. But yeah, let's do that now. Click the drop down for the source and send the LFO to the pitch of oscillator 1 and the pitch of oscillator 2. And set the amount to about 25, something like that. If I can get it. There we go. Come on, yeah. Alright, I'm so proud of me. Okay, so now that's our fun lead line with a bit of vibrato on it. Now we'll get to work on making the bass note hit. Right-click on the interface and create a combinator. Let's call it bass note. Now I've heard this effect on quite a few dubstep tunes. Chasing Status, for example, use it to good effect. It's just a kind of a single bass note just before things drop in, and it focuses the track, and it's really cool. So let's make that. Create Thor Polysonic Synthesizer. Yes, I love Thor. You could call me a Thor whore, I suppose. That wouldn't be very nice. Anyway, we're going to use an analog sine wave. Click the drop down arrow and make 2 multi-oscillators. And they're going to be slightly detuned again, but take one of them an octave down this time, because it's a bass note. And hit the 2 and 3 to send it through. Now, let's put in some notes in the track here, just so we can hear it again. Okay, so I've put in our bass notes here, so let's have a listen to them. I've chosen some F-sharp notes. I chose that because the key is in G-sharp, and that means that the F-sharp leads nicely up to the G-sharp at the start of the bar. I think the technical term is it resolves, and that just makes it feel nice, and everyone feels warm inside because it feels right. But if you want to do some dissonant, painful out of key stuff, then I'm sure everyone in the dubstep community will love you for it. But yes, let's carry on with this. Let's take that frequency down to about a quarter, and the resonance as well, just so it's not too bassy. And let's take the decay down to about 552-ish, around that mark, just to give it a bit of an attack. And the sustain, just take it right down to the bottom, and that way it hits in with the filter, and then it goes back from where it hits in to this point here that we've set. And then the amp envelope, make sure it's on full sustain. Okay, so now we've got that, we want to make it even bassier. To do that, we're going to use a right click, create M-class equalizer. Now I don't know if this is very good practice, but this is what I've done. So I've just turned up all the parameters on low sharp to full, and then the other parameters I've just taken right down on the gain and bandwidth, just so it's mostly the bass end that we've got. So maybe just to between the 625 and 1.2 kilohertz mark there is where it should cut off. And then if we just have a listen to that on its own, it should be quite bassy. Yeah, it's just a nice little bass note. We can cut everything out and that can be on its own for just like 1 split second. It'll be quite a cool effect. But yeah, and to just tidy it up, because we brought up the level so much here, we want to make it a consistent level with the rest of the song. So right click and click M-Class Maximizer and hit the 4 milliseconds look ahead on the limiter, and this just brings the level to a consistent level with the rest of the song. And that's our lead and bass note. In fact, for my track, that's all the devices. So tomorrow I'll be showing you about arrangement, how to turn this dubstep loop into a dubstep song, explaining some of the conventions amongst dubstep that I've found. And I'll add a new drum beat for the verse, and if I have time, maybe start doing some fun fills with this bass. Until then, see if you can find a lead synth that fits your track. Maybe you want something less fun and a bit darker. Have a look at some of my trance and dance lead tutorials, as those can work well for really dirty, dark dubstep if you make them more detuned than Avril Lavigne's live performances. See you tomorrow! If you found this tutorial useful, help me out by rating this video or posting a comment so other people can find it. And don't forget to check out my website, boyinaband.com. Have a nice day!